Floodwaters in May 2010 submerged the Lock Operations Center and Resource Manager's Office at Cheatham Dam, forcing personnel to flee. When the water receded, buildings were uninhabitable and the staff moved into trailers. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Nashville District continued the recovery today, breaking ground on the construction of new facilities. Stories of the flood were recounted that affected not only the Corps, but the whole community of Cheatham County.
In my 20 years at Cheatham Lake, I've seen the water rise up 4 times out of its banks. And 3 times it got to the front porch of the office and stopped. 4th time was the charm. It ended up 7.5 feet deep. Optimistic this thing would go away as it has in the past. But we managed to get everyone out. Of course, the next morning when we came and launched the boat, I realized we were in trouble, and you see where it went. I pulled up to the front door of our building, was looking into the what was left of the window right there in front. Our building was inundated and totally underwater.
Cheatham County Mayor David McCullough and former Mayor Bill Orange spoke about the impacts of the flood on Cheatham County and their partnership with the Corps during the natural disaster.
And we had historical channels that had not carried water in hundreds of years reopened, taking with them homes and almost schools, and just disrupting our communities unbelievably. From this devastation, as always, comes almost miraculous acts of compassion and concern. Tireless rescues, hundreds of rescuers poured into our county from all across the state of Tennessee and from other states as well to perform heroic acts, placing their own lives in jeopardy in order to rescue other fellow man. Homes were open for the newly homeless. Truckloads of donations in order to meet the immediate needs of individuals, feeding them, clothing them, cleaning materials, and the beginning of rebuilding. And I may say again, Colonel, that this staff was there with us through that walk, continue to be with us. Mr. Nash kept me apprised of hourly, almost hourly information. That did assist us greatly in being able to move materials and so on to higher ground when it was necessary.
I just am grateful that there are volunteers all over Cheatham County that would help a brother in need and would help the Corps in need when we were faced with such a devastating flood. If I can do anything to help the Corps, I will be happy to. I'm happy to partner with you, and I appreciate the communication that the leaders have made up to this day.
The ceremony then focused to the future buildings, which is another step as both the local community and Cheatham project continue to recover from the flood's aftermath.
So we want to remember, obviously, the heroic tales, the folks that Larry and Mayor Orange talked about, but we also want to look forward to what's being done in the construction of these new facilities. I'd like to recognize Ken Todd from Barge Wagner for being here today. They're the architecture firm, an engineering firm that designed the facilities, and I did take a good look at the design and plans when I first came on board, and they are great plans, and we look forward to getting them built. We also had our folks in our engineering and construction division working closely to review those. One of the highlights of those plans is that they're going to be these buildings is that they're going to be a LEED silver facility. The federal government's committed to ensuring that we design buildings and facilities now that are environmentally conscious and friendly, that take advantage of all the new technology we have in terms of insulation and energy efficiency for the HVAC system. So we're going to do that and ensure that we don't draw as much power from this hydropower plant as we did in the past with these new facilities. I also want to point out the contractor who is, I think Mike Wilson talked earlier. Foodtron Incorporated was awarded the contract for just a little less than $4 million for both of the buildings. They're out of Woodbridge, Virginia, but also have an office in Wilmington, North Carolina. We've got a representative here, and they'll be built over the next 18 months. And I think they hope to do them sooner than that, but that's the contract duration. We look forward to having you all work on this and partnering and getting this built as safely and as efficiently as possible.
This is Lee Roberts reporting for the Nashville District at Cheatham Dam in Ashland City, Tennessee.